Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Now you can call me Cyclops, because I have one good eye.
Well, welcome back. It is Monday. It is about middle of July 2017, and I'm going to finish up the Falcon this week. Maybe, well, I get hemming and hawing. Yes, I'm going to light this. I'm going to light the back of it, and I'm going to put a little dingly light in the cockpit, and maybe something in the gunwales. And to do that, I'm going to need to get a switch, and I've got batteries, but obviously I don't want to wire this. I don't want to wire it to a transformer. I want it to run on a battery. And I have ordered online some battery boxes, and if they don't get here real soon, I might have to cannibalize something else in order to get this one, get the battery box out of that, and get it in this, and then replace that other one later, so that I can get this finished in a timely manner. And I've got my pal, my friend, my buddy, my little pony of the Cyclops. And I'm going to get this finished this week. I only really have a scant little bit left to do. I want to do one last top coat on the flesh to kind of knock down some of these shadows that look good, in certain lights, but in some lights they look a little too dramatic. So I'm going to take that down, and I want to get something more interesting going on with this base, and that will be the finish of that kit. But all of these builds I've been doing lately have been leading me to the point where I'm out of shelf space again. So it's time to do some renovations in the room. Let's go look. Okay, so I'm here in the room that was built as a space for display. That's the whole purpose of this room, was built as a display space. And I'm to that point now where I'm liking the way that it looks, and I don't know how much of it I want to change, but let me kind of show you the quandary that I'm in. Okay, this is the room in its current configuration. I've got some display glass cases with kits, and I've got posters on the wall, and I've got big size props standing out in front of it. Now, the original intention of this room was always that it was always going to be used as model display. Now, in the interim, I did not have enough models to, fill it from floor to ceiling with models. So I got the display cases that I have, that I had room for. On this wall and on this wall, the intent was always that the display cases would go from floor to ceiling, all the way up. Well, a full display case is an expensive proposition, and money being tight because of building the room meant I didn't get those. I got the halfway thing. So I got the half-sized display cases, and I put some posters up above those. And now I'm to the point where I really like these posters, but I am running out of display space. So what I need to do, and I'm going to start on this wall, is I'm going to put in a set of glass shelves, and I'm going to bracket the poster. I'm going to leave the poster on the wall, but I'm going to put, since it's glass, I'm going to put glass shelves in front of the poster. I'm going to get a set of maybe 4 more shelves that are 3 foot wide, 3 foot tall, and they're designed to fit in that wall space. And that's going to give me some breathing room. It's going to allow me to take some kits like the Proteus and Peace and things that I've done lately and move them up on a shelf so that I can get some more breathing room and the models can be appropriately looked at. Another thing I'm going to do is I am going to move all of the Galactica kits to a shelf because just like, oh, come on, focus. There you go. Focus. Just like the Gorn on this shelf over here, made by the same folks that made the Cyclops, I need a very tall space to put the Cyclops, which is going to go here. So, not all of my projects this week are going to be modeling projects, but they are all going to be affiliated. They're going to be model project adjacent because I need to give myself some more breathing room. The Gunstar, the couple kits in the other room, the Starbug, all of those need to come in from the various places that they're resting, and see, even that secondary Proteus, the original Proteus, is down there on the captain's chair, and I need to clean the captain's chair off. That is not a place for trash. That is a place for a captain's feet. So we're going to shelf this wall this week. If it goes well, we're going to go ahead and shelf this wall, even if we don't have enough kits to put on it, because I hate things that are out of symmetry. So I immediately will start shelving both walls. Okay, it's Tuesday, and I feel guilty for not doing more model work this week than I have, so I feel like I should be documenting something, so I'm going to document putting up these shelves. Now, yesterday I went out and got all the parts and pieces needed, so today I took the old Dremel and cut the metal stands in half. These are the guys that are going to go up on the wall, and of course I couldn't find the size I needed, so I had to get the size I didn't need and cut it in half. I'm going to put these in place, mark the holes, and put the molly bolts in the wall. And the vertical pieces are in. You know what they say, getting the first one in is the easiest, because the second one is the one you have to level off of the first one, excuse me. And when you put the level right on those, and you see that that shelf is level. So that means the glass shelves that are going to go on here will be level, and the every other one that also goes up there will be level. So good. Now I just have to put the rest of the stanchions in, clean off the glass, replace the poster, do a bunch of things. So let's finish up this shelf. I ran out of parts because I miscalculated on the number of anchor bolts, so I have to go to the hardware store and get a few more. And huzzah, I have 4 shelves on the wall covering that poster, but giving me room for some tall stuff to go on the shelves, or to go on the top of this still, because I do need to, from time to time, open the top of this case, and I need to make sure that there's plenty of room for that. I mean, I can move the stuff that's on top of it at the time, but I need to have room to pick the glass up that's on the top there, and so that shelf can't be any lower really than it is to be practical. But it still gives me room for my taller models to go there, and smaller and lighter ones as the shelves go up. So success on one side. I need to do a little bit of model Tetris and put some stuff on these shelves so that I can do a quick pan, so that I can clean this wall off and do it. Well, I certainly feel better about the breathing room now. I got both sets of shelves up, and yeah, there's a lot of empty space there, but that's what I call room to grow. And you can look at the top shelf, you see, guess how many Iron Men I've made over the years. That's quite enough. Quite enough Iron Men. But now that I've got this stuff, and you can see now obviously the Cyclops is not finished, nowhere near finished, but well, he's near finished. But I wanted to show how much space he takes up on the shelf, so that's part of what the immediacy of getting this work done today was. As soon as he's done, he needs a place to sit, and the Zaku needed a place to stand, and there's peace. So these are the things that I've been working on lately that have, there's Batgirl, that really needed a place to call home once they got done. So no sense doing up a bunch of ships and not having any room to put them. Well, welcome back. It is Wednesday, and got a big order from Steve yesterday, so I am going to be plotting all of today, and at the same time working on finishing up the Cyclops and maybe a little bit more on the Falcon, to start doing some wiring on that. But reports are going to be few and far between because of the sound of the plotters. So take a look here, and then we'll cut in the little progress a little bit later on. Well, welcome back. It is Wednesday early evening, and I have been plotting and putting together an order all day long. Now, I make no apologies for that. I always say when it comes down to making models or making money, I have to make money first. If I can't make money, then I can't make models. So it's one feeds the other. But I was so hungry to get something done. I'm sure, like many of you, I want to see some progress. So I worked on the base for, I removed the tape so you can see what his little cloven hooves look like. And I wanted to work on the base here of the Cyclops because it's a fairly innocuous, I can do it without harming too much of anything else. I don't have to get out a bunch of different paints, and I don't have to worry about being too picky with it. But I put some dirt colors on the sand, and I'm going to hit these with just to lighten it up just a little bit. But I wanted to see, because everything's kind of turning into the same color. I mean, it's brown and rust color and skin color, and it's not. It's all getting a little bit homogeneous, I guess would be the word. So I'm going to lighten this up a little bit, put some more brights in the sand. But I needed to get some progress on these guys, get them moved forward. So my hope is go ahead and get this order finished up tonight, knocked out in the mail tomorrow, so that I can, once it's shipped out tomorrow, I can get back concentrating on Cyclops, possibly finish him tomorrow. Let's see, it's Wednesday, I got Thursday and Friday. Possibly finish him tomorrow, because I just need to do another one more skin pass, and I think I'll be ready. And see how much more we can get done on the Falcon. Okay, it's Thursday. I'm back from lunch and back from the post office delivering an order to go out today. So and I've come back to working on the Cyclops. What I've done was to hit the purple parts with a mixture of the Comart flesh with a little bit of blush flesh. Say that 5 times. Blush flesh. To give me a little bit more well-rounded skin tone, better than the just pasting on the straight up flesh color. And hit the purple parts. Now I left a little bit around the eye, partly because I wanted to leave some color there, and partly because I didn't want to risk hitting that eye with any overspray. So there's the slightest bit of purple tinge left around his eye socket. But we have come down to the part where I think, I also went back and touched up his plaque psoriasis with a lighter skin tone. You can see more of it there. So what I'm going to do now is let this set and dry in, and then I will come back and hit it with a probably a flat. I might try a satin first to see how that looks, see if it looks like sweaty skin. I probably won't like it, so, and I'm gonna obviously not spray the fur, but I'll end up spraying it with a matte just to protect it, just to put a cover over it, and then I will go back in with the. Actually, no, I'm gonna mask the eye off so I don't risk getting any flat spray on the glossy eye and the mouth. So protect those and then give it an overall. And then I'm going to see if I am truly happy with this base or whether I need to add some more sand color to it. I think I might need to lighten it up just a wee bit, just to take just to give it some more contrast to the hooves and the rest of the centaur. Stop it, Cyclops. But yeah, just a light, maybe a dry brush coating over that of a beige color or sandy color. Wrapping up work on the Cyclops base. I just got done putting a fine misting black along the very bottom, and what that's going to do, hopefully, I'll let this dry, I don't want to pick it up yet, but hopefully what that's going to do is blend into the black felt that I will put on the bottom, and give me a nice transition between these two elements. And then I should be able to call this creature finish. Well, good morning and how do you do? It's Friday again. The weeks, I keep saying this, but the weeks are swimming past. And we are almost done with the Cyclops. We will finish him up toot sweet. All that is left to do is to work on his hooves a bit. When I took the tape off, I realized how dark the hooves were. And let's face it, it's not like Mr. and Mrs. Cyclops sit around the cave all day painting each other's nails. This is a little too drastic. It's a little too dark. So what I'm going to do is do a quick dry brushing of a gray-brown mix so that I can bring some of those highlights back out and keep some of that dark color in those cracks. But that way it'll scuff them up a bit, make them look a little bit more natural. And then the last thing to do is to whip up some epoxy, which I have already got ready to go. Whip up some epoxy and glue him down to the base and he will be complete. Now yesterday I took the last pass of the skin color on top, and then I went back in and retouched up his bumps. And let me put him down for a second. Excuse me. The last thing that I did on this base was to put the felt on the bottom and paint a black edge around the bottom edge of the base to kind of blend it into the black felt. I like this black felt. I get it by the sheet at the hobby store. It's got an adhesive backing on it. Especially since I like to put my models on glass shelves, that felt really goes well with it. It will keep it from scratching up the glass, or it just slides around on glass a lot easier. So that's why I like using it. Like I said, cheap and easy to come by, so that's what I use. So let's get to some hoof repair. The hoofs have been dry brushed. I just did a quick pass over them to see you put a little bit more color in there and knock down that black, or the overall blackness of it. Looks good. So now I am going to sorry about the close up there. I'm going to mix up some epoxy and glue him down to the base and he'll be done. Look at that smiling face. And here is the finished Cyclops out in the midday sun. All told, I did decide to put more contrast and more interest in his skin tones than the stop motion prop had. That was very kind of flat skin tone-y wise, and I will go to my grave defending the flocking of the legs. I just think it looks so much better than the sculpted in hair. And you really need to take the base outside to see all the subtleties in it. When you look at it indoors, it just kind of looks like a flat brown, but there are actually highlights and shadows in there. But you know, you're not supposed to make the base the most interesting thing. The character should be more interesting than your base. So look at that face. A little highlight underneath his eye there. Weird. I don't know how that happened. Maybe I have to paint over that. But looking appropriately gruesome and ready to take his place on the newly created shelf space for him. Hello, I'm back. It's Friday afternoon, and I've got a little bit of a story to tell. So pull up a chair, kids. If you may have thought I was stalling on the Millennium Falcon, you would be correct. And I was stalling because I wanted to put some lights into it. And putting lights into it would entail a battery clip and a switch. Well, I didn't want to use, because frankly, there may just be enough room in here for a 9-volt battery, but I wanted to use something else. I've been using the smaller 12-volt batteries. I used them in a couple of builds, and I really like them because of the size and because of how long they last with the LEDs. So I was looking around, couldn't find any more of the little clips to hold the 12-volt batteries in place locally. Couldn't find it in any of the stores. So I, jumped on the trusty eBay and saw see what I could find there. And I saw I could order from a place in China to order. Well, I'll show you. They were about $1 a piece, I figure. So I'll order 5 of them, $4.90, and then I get an email message saying, "Well, thank you for processing your order. We'll get to it, or you should have it in the next month." Well, I was going, "Oh, great! I'm going to have it in the next month. I can't depend on how long that's going to take. So I may have to cannibalize another kit, take the clip out of it, put it in the Falcon, and replace the clip in the other kit if I'm going to keep on schedule with this build." So another day goes by, I get home from the movies. I went to the movie this afternoon because it's 98 freaking degrees outside. It is too hot. It's just too hot. So I wanted to sit in a cool movie theater. I get home from the theater, check my mail. Lo and behold, there's a little pouchy bag. Let's see, it's still here in the trash. From China. Here it is. Came from China. From the fine folks at Pingfu Town, Longgang District in Shenzhen. The fuming industrial park. In case you ever want to go and find a good fuming industrial park, that's where it came from. So, like I said, great. Here's my 5 battery clips. I'll be able to go. $5, 5 battery clips. I'm out the door. I'm ready to get back on my Falcon build. This is wonderful. And then I opened up the bag, and yes, battery clip. Yes, 5 battery clips. Yes, 25 battery clips. What I had ordered were 5 lots of 5, not 5 clips, but 25 battery clips. So 25 battery clips for $5 is like tremendous. Hey, if anybody wants a battery clip, send me a self-addressed stamped envelope. I'll mail it out to you. Because I got them out the wazoo now, which is, makes it painful to sit, but still. So we're back in business in a big bad way now, because I've got enough battery clips to fuel the next 25 builds. So let's see how much of this I can get done today before we're going to call it a draw. And here's a big collection of battery clips again. I know I keep saying battery clips. It's like saying googly eyes. I like saying it. But yeah, I've got a metric blank ton of these. Let's build some lights. Okay, here's some obvious and remedial lighting, but just a tiny LED strip stuck to a piece of plastic and jammed in behind there, and you get quite a nice lighting effect. So I'm going to close this up a little bit just to see what the spillage of light is like, and see whether I need to light block any of the inside of the ship. As you can see by these hot spots here, yes, there is some light blocking that needs to be done on the inside, and I will accomplish that with a combination of the silver duct tape and the maybe a little bit of black paint on the inside. But overall, a really quick and easy and not that expensive way to light up that Falcon, and it doesn't light it up so much that you can't see the grates on there, which is nice, because you put all that time putting those grates in, you want to be able to see them. Well, it looks pretty good. Okay, I've got the Backlight Module all taped up with the silver tape, and oddly enough, it is these 4 connection points that are acting as light channels, and that is what is causing the light leak, because it's going straight up into the plastic. Now it's a lot less noticeable here than it used to be, but let me see how that looks on the bottom. Yeah, mostly covered in. Probably wouldn't hurt to put a drop of black paint inside each of those bits where the part attaches so that I can block the... Well, you know, I might be able to put just a tiny little circle of paint on top of those and take care of that. But it's working out. Well, I just looked at the clock and saw that time had gotten away from me, so I guess we're going to try to close it up for this week. Sorry I didn't get much done on the lighting of the Falcon, but I am well on the way. See, I've got it all taped up, ready to go. Which brings me to a very quick and dirty version of this week's Lou's Toolbox. What's in Lou's Toolbox? And I'm going to compartmentalize it into everything you can get at your local automotive parts store. Now, interesting story, real quick, I'll tell you. Once, when I started going to the auto parts store that I go to now regularly for paint, I go there to get my primers, and back when I was working on my Iron Man helmet, I figured I'd use automotive paints. Makes most sense. The golds and the cherry reds and all that kind of stuff. And the metal flakes. So pick those up. And the next week I went back to get, you know, some blue for another kit. And the next week I went back to get some, you know, 2 weeks later I went back to get some green for yet a third kit. And this is going on for, about a month. And for some reason I'm always getting the same guy behind the counter. And so I'm, you know, checking out my paints and going about my business. And he gives me this quizzical look. He goes, "Man, I see you in here, a couple times a month, and you're always buying paint." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I have to ask, what color of car do you own?" It's like he thought I had, because he's used to people coming in buying paint for their cars and going on their merry way or doing some touch-up. And I had to tell him what it was for. He goes, "Oh, that's cool." So I took he wanted to see the Iron Man helmet, so I took it back into a, next time I was there, I brought it with me. So don't fall into the rut that thinking you only have to buy your paints and supplies at art supply stores or hobby shops. There are many places you can go to get paints and to get supplies. Go to your your local AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Advanced Auto Parts, Pep Boys, whatever. Go into the paint and body finishing sections. Not only will you find primers and putty, but you will find a much better grade and a higher grade of sandpaper there than you will ever find at a hardware store or a Walmart or whatever. Anybody can sell you a 320 grit or 400 grit sandpaper. This is 2,000 grit paper, my friends. This is, this is very, very fine stuff, and you're going to find this kind of stuff in the automotive stores. And if you're working on an enterprise, or you're working on, a kit where the finish has to be, smooth as an Android's bottom, you want to have a wet or dry, this is wet and dry sandpaper. Go to your auto parts stores, make friends with it. They'll be happy to see you because you're not buying lug nuts and piston linings. You're getting, fun stuff. But I wanted to tell you about the two kinds of primer. Let's start off with primer sealer and primer filler. These are both Duplicolor. This is the brand of paint that I will swear by. I will spend extra money on primer paint and skimp somewhere else down the line, because if you got good primer, you're going to have a good finish. Well, it's the start of a good finish. It's start of a finish. See what I did here? Having a good foundation, just like building a house. If you have a good foundation, chances of success are higher. If you have a crappy foundation, you can still skate away with a good model, but don't be surprised if you have trouble down the line. A good primer sealer on all of your paints, especially if it's a resin kit, a garage kit. Wash it first. By God name, wash it first to get that mold release off of it. But then a good primer. The difference between primer filler and primer sealer is this is a little bit heavier. It's meant for filling in scratches if you have tiny scratches or dings. And I wouldn't use it for gap filling because it's always gonna you're always gonna see that gap. But I use this particularly if the castings are kind of rough. If it's a lot of flat planes to it, not a lot of greebly details, because Filler primer, see, it's in the name, filler. What's filler going to do? It's going to fill. So if you've got a lot of textured details, don't use this, because too much of it will actually fill in the detail, and you don't want that. But this, I'll have to say, as a person who's worked with both of these, this smells better for some reason. Anyway, what I use this for is I'm purposely trying to build up layers. I'll use this. I was trying to do a mock-up or a fake brick wall. So what I did is I put down pieces of tape. Actually, I used my vinyl and put down the grid of what would be the grout lines for the bricks. I put that down with vinyl, and then I sprayed this heavy on top of it, and then I sprayed a texture, like a sand texture on top of that, so that when I picked up the vinyl, I was left with the divots where the vinyl was, which ended up looking like perfect grout lines. And it's because I used this heavy filler primer first. Best for scratches. If you're doing a lot of Bondo work on your model or on your garage kit, then it doesn't hurt to put a coat of this over it, because it makes a good transition between Bondo and the rest of your plastic. And this, no toolkit should be without Bondo spot putty. If I had it to do all over again, I'd go back in time and I would invest in this. I would have bought stock in Bondo, because just my purchase alone would have kept me into my retirement. This is excellent stuff. Like the filler, it can be overused, so use it sparingly, but it is the best thing for filling in cracks, filling in seams, filling in gaps, things like that. Particularly on hardware or starships or flat, sharp edges of things. It's not the best for a sculptural detail. For a sculptural detail, like when you're trying to restore an arm joint, say maybe you're putting something together where the arm goes into the shoulder and you've got a gap there. In that case, you maybe want to use epoxy sculpt or a putty. We'll get into that later. But always keep some of this handy. It cleans off with acetone or nail polish remover. Sands like a charm. Don't lay it on too thick. It's best to put some on, sand it, let it dry, sand it, maybe put some more on if you still need to fill in a gap or a divot. But this is number one in my toolkit as far as things from the automotive store. And primer and the high grade sandpaper. You'll never kick yourself for spending too much money on high grade sandpaper. So that's it for Lou's Toolbox this week and for the build. Thanks for sticking around this long if you have. Got a lot done. Finished the Cyclops, yay. Put up shelves, yay. And got plenty of battery clips. So until next week when we put this battery clip to work, be good to each other. Stay inside. It's hot out there, folks. It's hotter than the backside of the sun out there. So be good to each other, and we'll see you here next week. When we'll also be probably pulling out another figure, since I'm done with the Cyclops. I'm gonna pull out another figure, and I think I know which one it's gonna be. No, you thought I had it here with me. I don't. But I think I'm gonna finally put these to use. So you can gather for yourself what you think that might mean. So, see you next time.